All right, I'm getting set up to make buckwheat pancakes. It's a nice day out, but rather chilly. It's just right above freezing at the moment. And we're gonna get the fire going. All right, while the griddle's heating up and the fire's burning down to where it's more decent, we'll set up the buckwheat pancakes. All this really consists of is a little bit of canola oil, a little bit of honey, water, eggs. In here is 2 cups of buckwheat flour, just a touch more. So you want to add 3 eggs to this. Yep. Stir those in. Okay, and into this, for every 2/3 a cup of flour, it says 3 tablespoons of honey. Well, I tend to like honey, and I like the buckwheat a little bit sweeter. This is raw honey, and it's set up a little bit. It's colder than crap, so it doesn't matter. It'll still mix in, especially when you hit the water. I'll call that good. And a little bit of canola oil, olive oil works. They say about a tablespoon for every 2/3 cup of flour. That's probably about right. Usually I don't really measure a whole lot. I just start adding and going. And now it calls for a touch over a cup of water for every 2/3 cup of flour. All right, so that would call for probably about a little less than 3 1/4 cups of water. But with this, what I'll do is, like everything else, you kind of start adding it in and mixing it up till you get it to the consistency that you want. Throw a little butter on the grill. I have to set my bricks up to where I can level out the grill a little more. It's a little thicker than what it should be for what it is. So we're going to add some more water. I just want a bit of a bread consistency on that one. There really isn't, unless you just burn the crap out of it and carbonize it, there isn't really any way to mess this up. It's just a matter of a little practice to get it to where you want it. It's like most cooking. I don't usually do the same thing twice just because I find it's extraordinarily boring. So I'll usually switch up different things. And I've heard people, I can't cook, I can't cook. Well, do you really try? And if you're expecting something like what you see on all the chef shows and things along that line, well, lower your expectations a little bit. I mean, you can gun for that, but those guys have been doing it for years and years and years and years, and some people just have a natural, I hate the word talent, but that's what they have. Some people just are that way. This is what I would consider a fair consistency for buckwheat pancakes. Okay, again, we're gonna throw some butter on the grill. Butter doesn't hurt anything. We loosen some heat. Again, that your cooking times vary. Not everything's going to be perfect. That's half the fun. Cooking over a wood fire like this is usually kind of entertaining. It's easy to burn things sometimes. Other times it's easy to undercook things. It's just a matter of eye and practice. I kind of like it. I don't get to do it nearly as much as I want to. Okay, as with all pancakes, you kind of cook them till the bubbles start popping around the edges, like you can see here. That tells you it's getting time to flip it. And that's nicely cooked there. This is a thicker bit. That's more of a bread. Again, with the fire, you got to watch so it don't set you up. I usually will make these a little not so terribly huge. The one thing I like with these is to use them like bread for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which is usually pretty good. I haven't done that for a while. They freeze really well. You can stack them up, put them in a freezer bag, and throw them in the freezer, and they hold up really well. Throw a bit of ham on. Well, sort of ham. See the bubbles? It's time to flip. This one, it's time to remove. This one's getting close. Get some more out. This will make quite a bit. For the longest time, I forgot about it. Like I said, when we were little, grandmother used to make these for a while. Then for some reason she didn't. I don't know whether buckwheat got scarce or what. I know it's gotten quite a lot more expensive in some places. And it's actually really good for you, but I don't know. It's an old, kind of an old world taste. It looks like it's starting to make kind of a bit of a comeback, which is good. The buckwheat, the first time I ran across it as an adult, and I hadn't eaten it in like forever because it was hard to find there for a while. I mixed up, it was like an oatmeal. Now, I knew how much oatmeal I could eat, and I happened to be hungry, so I fixed some, and then threw it in a bowl, threw some honey on it, a little bit of milk, started in on it, and I was hungry, so I was wolfing down into it. And it was about a little bit more than the same amount of oatmeal because I was hungry. I figured I could eat it. I hit about a third of the way through and I stopped dead. Did not want any more, and I was full for hours. That's basically our piece of bread. It isn't always the prettiest, but if you're that picky, then you're not hungry. Those are about a little bit overdone, but I'm not overly concerned about it. All right, this is the ham spam and the bread that first batch that we put on. That's good. Same mix, just thicker, makes more of a bread. Thinned out, you have more of a cake. And either way they work, but this is definitely worth pursuing. Yep, I'm getting some more buckwheat. This is from 2 cups of flour, and this piece here, we got that amount of buckwheat. Like I said, honey on these, or a little peanut butter and jelly, butter, whatever works for you. I like using these as like bread for sandwiches. It's good. Something completely different than most normal American diet. I'd give it a rip.